What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Marketing Monday. As I'm sure most of you know, my name is Brandon Ball and I own and operate Perpetual Motion. And every Monday on this channel, I come on here and give you hints, tricks, tips, just things that are going on in the marketing world that you either as a business owner or just as a informed consumer need to be aware of. So we're gonna get right into it. Today's gonna be a very short video highlighting the importance of scheduling a meeting from a meeting. So that's whether you are cold calling, you finally, you get somebody on the phone, or if you're an in-person, or I know last week we talked about your elevator pitch and how to master your elevator pitch. Maybe at the end of that conversation in the elevator, you schedule a meeting, because that is when you're face to face with somebody. It's harder to say no to somebody when they schedule one right then. It's a lot easier to delete an email without seeing it, or an email gets lost, or maybe it actually gets lost, or whatever the case is. Scheduling one right then and there while you're on the phone and while you have somebody, while you're talking to somebody is vital, and will really increase, at the end of the day, it'll increase your sales. It'll boost how many meetings you have. It'll help you organize things. And at the end of the day, it'll increase your sales and thus your profits. So we're gonna get right into it. It doesn't matter if it's a sales call, your elevator pitch, or if it's somebody you've talked to for a long time. Doesn't matter. It's good practice to get into. And I've had deals where I didn't schedule a meeting, and then all of a sudden the chain of emails is buried under something else, and totally forget that we even had a meeting, was potentially to have another meeting. So doesn't matter. Always make sure you do it. It's a couple reasons. The number one reason is they're expecting it. It's on their calendar. They're prepared for it. You are prepared for it. It's one of those things that, even if, let's say, they forget and you show up to their office and say, hey, I have a scheduled, 1 o'clock meeting with so-and-so. They're going to be like, ah, crap, I forgot. But they're still likely going to give you the meeting. They're going to put aside what they're actually doing to give you that meeting because it was a scheduled thing. Or if they, actually can't, if something else came up, they're going to feel really bad, and they're going to say, man, I'm sorry, I totally blanked about it. Let's reschedule this meeting for tomorrow, or whatever, and they'll reschedule it. So that's number one reason. Number two reason is it helps you with your deadlines. If I'm going to meet with this person and I have to have a proposal for them ready by Wednesday, because our meeting's on Wednesday, then I know that I have to have that proposal done prior to this date. It gives me a deadline. If it's one of those situations where they say, oh, let me check my calendar and get back with you, then you're like, I don't really need to do that right now, because we don't even know when that's going to be due. So it helps with your deadlines. It helps you prioritize things. So that is really the main reason I started trying to schedule meetings, and I'm not good at it. I'm not, the best at it by any means, but I do my best to schedule those just to help me prioritize what I need to do, and make my lists for the day and for the week. So, and then the third reason is it's so much more likely to actually get the meeting. If you're in a meeting already, you're on a call, you're face to face, whatever, and you say, hey, let's schedule a meeting, or let's reconvene next week, or that's a good question. Why don't you give me a few days to look that up, or find those answers, and let's talk again on Friday. Well, then they're less likely to be like, not really interested. They're more likely to be like, okay, well, I'll have another one. It's fine, no big deal. And the more meetings you get, the more likely they are to purchase the product or the service or whatever it is, they're more likely to do. The more times you can get in contact with them. So that's kind of the basics. Now it's a lot easier said than done. I know it kind of comes off as an easy thing. It's definitely not. It's something that I still struggle tremendously with. But it's one of those things, you're always working on it. And the number one tip I would say has helped me, or the number one trick that I would say to do when you're doing it, is don't just say, hey, let's schedule a meeting, what works for you. Actually give them dates and times and things that work for you, because what's going to end up happening is if let's say I'm in a meeting, and I just say, let's say we're on the phone call, and I say, hey, let's reconvene next week sometime. When are you available to bring this back up, have another conversation about it, have another, maybe a Zoom meeting, or maybe I can come into the office or whatever. They're likely going to say, well, let me check my calendar and get back with you. I'll shoot you an email or something with my availability. And that's great, but the chances are, I don't want to say the chances are they're not going to do it, but there's a good chance they're not going to do it. They're going to forget, something's going to come up, their kid's going to get sick, and the last thing they're thinking about is scheduling the meeting with you. Whereas if you're on the phone with them and you say, hey, let's reconvene next week. I have Wednesday at 2 o'clock available, Thursday at 11, or Friday at 1. Which one of those times works best for you? Then they're going to say, hang on, let me check. They're going to look at their calendar and they're going to say, okay, let's plan on Thursday at 11. And then now it's scheduled. You have confirmation Thursday at 11 works for them, works for you. You hang up the phone, you set a calendar invite right then so that they can accept it when it's fresh in their mind and they have it on their calendar. So that would be my number one trick, is to actually give them dates that work for you, even if you have nothing scheduled, because you're just starting out and your calendar is totally free. I would still say give them some specific times. That way they can say yes, no, this won't work, this one will, and let's do that. So anyway, quick video today. I just wanted to talk about the importance of setting a meeting from a meeting. Give it a try. See if it increases the number of meetings you get, therefore increasing your total sales and your profits over a span of time. It's helped me tremendously. Help me close deals, help me stay organized and prioritize. So I really appreciate you guys watching. If you got anything from the video, drop it a like. I would really appreciate that. If you have any questions or anything you want me to talk about in future videos, feel free to comment those. Like I said, every Monday on this channel, we do a Marketing Monday, some kind of marketing related topic. So feel free to drop a comment if you're interested in any of that. If you want to see these Marketing Mondays more frequently, feel free to subscribe to the channel. But until then, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next week.